My name is Tammy and this is my first YouTube video, and I've been watching a lot of the YouTube videos and tutorials on scrapbooking and rubber stamping, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them, and I thought I'd like to try one myself. I have been scrapbooking for about 14 years and stamping for about 13, and I've worked in both scrapbooking and rubber stamp stores, and I used to teach classes there. And even though I'm a teacher today, I really miss teaching the craft. So I recently became a close to my heart consultant and decided I'd give this a try myself, and hopefully you'll enjoy the videos that I make as much as I've enjoyed those of others on YouTube. We're going to be making this card in my first video, and you can find on my blog at paperhartist.blogspot.com the dimensions and the supplies that you would need to make this card. And you can also purchase any supplies that you'd like on my Close to My Heart website at scrapmucilli.myctmh.com. So here's the card that we're going to make, and it says, "Wild Thing, I think I love you." So this is what we're going to make. We are going to be using the Close to My Heart Level 2 Sarsaparilla paper pack. And with our level 2 paper packs, you get 2 of 6 designs of pattern paper. And in this particular pack, these are the designs that you would get. And you get 2 of each. And just a side note here, this pattern here, if you're looking for pattern paper to go with cowboy pictures, hay rides, pony rides, this particular one will work really well. And I think there's actually a couple here that would be really nice for heritage as well. So this particular paper pack, I think, has lots of different uses. And you also receive 4 of the neutral, which in this case is the Colonial White. You also get 2 of the Desert Sand, 2 of the Barn Red, and 2 of the black cardstock. So you get a total of 22 sheets of pattern paper and cardstock in our level 2 pack. The stamp set that we're going to be using, the My Acrylics Your Great stamp set, and this is an adorable set of stamps. Very cute animals and coordinating sayings, cute sayings that go with it, and we're going to be using this one here. One thing I wanted to note with the acrylics, in My Acrylics it comes with a piece of styrofoam, and a lot of people think this is just packaging, but it's actually used, can be used for some cushioning underneath your project. So I know in the past I've used magazines and pads of paper to give a little bit of cushion. So you just lay it down, you lay your work down, and then you stamp directly on here, and it gives a little bit of cushion for you to get a nice solid image. Okay, so what we're going to need to make this, I'll have the cutting dimensions are on my blog as well as on the screen, but you're going to need 4 strips of pattern paper. You can pick whatever patterns you want, and you want to ink up the edges of each one of those, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You'll need a larger strip of pattern paper, 1 strip. You'll need your interior card for your sentiment. You will need, of course, your card base, and you will need another sheet of pattern paper, a piece of black cardstock, and a piece of Colonial White cardstock, which is what we're going to stamp our animals on, and we'll end up matting for the front of our card. Again, those measurements are going to be already on my blog. Okay, so let me talk to you about inking. So I'm going to show you inking for this, and we're going to use the Exclusive Inks Desert Sand for the inking. And our ink pads, you just pull open and you twist and lock. Now our sponges come round, and they come in a Ziploc bag, and I of course don't use them like this. I cut them into 6. So I just take my scissors and cut them into 6 pieces, and our color families actually come 6 colors to a family. So I actually keep the Ziploc bag and store the color family in each Ziploc bag, so it makes it easy reference to pull the right sponge, and I don't end up mixing up sponges and messing up projects. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tap, and I like to, especially on darker colors, tap off one time so my inking is more controlled. If I was to not stamp off, the first time I go, it's going to actually be a dark spot, and you may want to sand it off. But other than that, that's pretty much all you're going to be able to do if you put too much on at one time. And just continue to ink all the way around. Okay, one thing I do like to do is I do like to come up on the corners just ever so slightly, and it gives it kind of that faded in look like you would do maybe on photo editing software with pictures where you kind of put a haze around it. Okay, and that's what I did with this one and with all my strips, so you would want to ink up all of those. I did not ink, however, these two. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to actually sand my strips of pattern paper. And so I'm using a sanding block to sand them. And it works just as well putting it on my paper and just kind of working in circles. And when I work in circles, it actually kind of helps pull the paper up from the edges as opposed to going back and forth. Just want to be careful and hold the paper still, because making circles will sometimes move it and wrinkle your paper. So we're going to do that with all of our strips. So we have all our papers now sanded, all our pattern papers. Now you may notice on this one I got a little carried away and some of the top layer actually peeled off, but I'm actually not worried about it. The best thing to do in that situation, you could start over, but just let it be part of the shabby chic look. I tore it in a few other places. If it really bothered you and you couldn't start over, you could minimize it a touch by inking over it, and that will kind of blend it in and make it not quite as harsh of a white as you had before. Okay, so that's an option. But again, I'm not worried about it. It gives it just kind of that shabby look that I tend to like anyway.